Oh, okay, okay. I don't necessarily know when you actually start streaming because you say things a lot. I've noticed that. No, it's not. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the whatever this is today, because it's something. It's something. We're in aim only mode. Well, I can't be bothered to go get my keyboard to go turn it off, so you're gonna have to get stuck. You're stuck like that until I've decided otherwise. It's fine. No, I don't think. There you go. It does it automatically after like a minute or two. So yeah. Oh, I've got like when I do all my overlay stuff, I've got like a bot, and it was like the easiest thing to do is turn emo only mode on and off. So you're free and talk and stuff and things. Um, hi, 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 Joe. How are you? I know. Oh. Well, we haven't spoken since Monday. Like it's been a day. We talked. What we did. Oh, okay. So what you can read from that today, guys, is we're about to get deep into some stuff like normal. Welcome to Wednesdays. Oh, Twitter. I did see that. I didn't know that's where she was going. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
Are
now
you,
I'm unmuted. See,
I can hear you, and I
you
think
can
my
hear
chat
me.
could hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So apparently this is what I get for not having the chats open yet. I'm like, let's go live and then I'll open the chats. And everybody's like, we can only hear Cleo. So
Oh, yes, you can only hear me. Quirk, thank you. Speaking of look for rainbows, because it's on my thing, just got a tattoo that says protect queer kids. I can get behind that message. That's a good message. We like that message. You're not late for the party. The party is just beginning. I don't know if it's going to be one of those parties where everybody ends up crying in corners.
yeah, I'm not sure if this is
Um,
a crying party. I mean, I don't
I
think it's
mean,
a crying party, but
uh,
I can't understand why my
I
camera
mean,
won't focus. That's
to be fair, if I drink too much, I do start crying. So one of the reasons why I don't actually drink much
that's
anymore.
fun.
You know.
Mm,
Um, so if you ever see me drinking and I'm not crying, know that I'm not drunk.
yeah.
Those are the best parties. I don't know where you sounds
If
like
you're
most of
hanging
the
out
parties.
with Cleo and don't like the amount of tears, wait a while.
Well, that's the thing. I know that if my teeth start going numb, I should stop drinking because tears are on the way.
Oh wow.
Um,
I didn't know teeth got numb from drinking, but I mean, the human
Mine
body is
do.
bounteous and its wonder.
Yeah, like everybody goes, "Why do your teeth go numb?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I think it's weird." So I I don't drink that much.
That's
So
fair. Okay, so I'm gonna mess with the
oh,
focus for a second. Nope,
thank you,
these
Mini
are
Cheese
all
Mouse.
worse.
The Guppy Geyser was special. Let's call it that. Um, I am realizing that I am 2 weeks away from the end of April, and I haven't actually got the first week done. So I need to get things done. Zan Meeks resubscribed for 12 months. Hello, thank you.
Okay, so I need to get your so since I one of the things I did this week that because we have so much stuff to that we haven't gotten to talk about is
I'm gonna
I
get started.
reinstalled
Yes.
Windows on this computer. and so I'm
Uh-huh.
and because I was getting some sort of a bunch of weird camera glitches and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
as well as my display driver crashing, I decided to rebuild all of my what do you call them, sources and stuff.
Uh-huh. That is a pain in the bum to do. So
Yeah.
for those of you who are not streamers or YouTubers or anything, we have a program, and like where all, like you can see, like in my hang on, I've got like a source that does this stuff
Mm-hmm.
down here, and I've got another source that does this stuff, and then the whole camera itself is another source. So, and I also have like different sources for different games that I switch between. And there's if there's text up there, there's a source there. That text down there is a source there. So everything is made up of sources, which is what Joe's talking about. Continue on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I've got to do all of the work to re-add like cropping around Cleo's capture window here.
Yeah. So that's what Joe. That's why Joe's looks like a nightmare.
Yay.
I don't think it. I actually can't see Joe's at the moment because I don't have it. I'll go sort out. I'll go put Joe's the thing stream next to the true crime thing I was watching before Joe turned up.
Have you watched? In my opinion, the best true crime thing is there's this one on Netflix about these kids at a Californian school that were embroiled in this vandalism controversy, and it's called American Vandal.
I've heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
It's ludicrous. It's better than it should be. It's one of those shows.
I'm mostly at the moment watching stuff on YouTube, which is basically interrogations at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. So yeah. This stream shows as Minecraft. That is the first time I think I've ever done that. So
Oh, really? And we had even talked about the importance of not doing it.
we had, but at least I got the title. I will take a drink in a minute, but it's...
People are also saying, "Where's Hermitcraft on mine?" Wait, did the title not update when I updated? It says
Oh,
Craft
Joe,
with
we
Cleo.
just...
No, wait. Okay, mine should be right.
Mine should be right. I did it. Dang it.
I did it. Is YouTube not working? YouTube.
Why is that not?
No, it says Craft with Cleo. Okay. Got a good bit rate despite the camera being nonsense. So we're doing
Right, it should have updated. If it hasn't updated,
Yeah.
Pretending.
And we are also doing the rotating camera today. That's a fun experiment we do where instead of the camera getting bigger every time we hit a tipping milestone, the camera rotates $1 for every dollar, or 1 degree radian. No, 1 degree angular. Oh my gosh. I'm still waking up, okay?
It's okay, Joe.
I have
It's
technically
okay.
been awake for an hour and a half, but I'm still waking up. I've got my coffee here.
Yeah. I need to do my quick what is a bullet journal spiel.
Mm.
Okay, so a bullet journal is a self-created system for organizing your life, and you put in it, I use it sort of as an art project. But you put in it what you need. Obviously, I haven't done any video stuff much this month because of things going on in life. But there, and you put in it what you want for it. So this is me making my pretty journal. Done. Okay. You can talk now, Joe.
Yay, thank you, Cleo. Okay.
Have my
immediately
permission.
out of frame as soon as I... Oh, boy.
We're having a moment, guys, and the moment is
just tilt this
endless.
It's... Oh wait, no, I'm not out of frame. I just had the window was covered a little bit. No, it's fine. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna see. The fun thing about this camera is if I like just lay down on my desk sobbing, you can just see it. You can just
see it. Thank you, Centuritron, for the 9 months Twitch baby sub.
Not out of
Thank
frame
you.
on both cameras.
I'm just out of frame forever. just Sob into your elbow, Joe. Just sob. Hang on. Where is it? Is it? There, Joe. There.
Okay, people are saying Cleo's twice as loud as me. Let me fix that. Okay.
I mean, that's pretty much true for everything.
Okay.
It hasn't updated for you. Well, we're pretending to do Minecraft, but we're not. So
we're not pretending very hard.
I don't pretend very hard about anything, to be honest. This is just me.
Here's my new shop. It's a lot.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
It's hard to angle the axolotl in such a way that it actually shows up on camera.
Angle that axolotl.
Axolangle?
That sounds weird. Okay.
So, I've been thinking a little bit about...
Oh, no.
Okay. You know what? Maybe I was going to say, before I launch into something new, do we have like 4 topics I've already introduced we haven't actually gotten to yet?
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, this is fine.
I feel like we started on a few things. We were going to talk about the, what do you call it? The Guppy Geyser.
Guppy Geyser!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Joe has recorded his ASMR video already. I haven't.
Well, kind of. So that's part of what I'm doing. You had asked like what I was doing for my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is not like I was thinking like, should I have this be a surprise or should I have this be something to? I'm not sure if this will reassure or intimidate you, because this is arguably too much, but also a huge waste of time. So, like...
Yeah.
What I've been doing is I've been trying to use this footage, because it's relatively static, right? You know, I've got the camera basically in one place for an hour, while a bunch of fish flop around. I've been using this footage to experiment with replay mod exports of 4K video at 60 frames a second. Because I figure in the next year and a half or so, like, at this point, every phone and tablet or whatever is basically 4K. And the internet's getting faster with the 5G rollout. People are going to start looking for higher resolution Minecraft stuff. Maybe not now, but like 18 months out feels plausible, right? So I was like, let me see how my current hardware does with 4K rendering. And so one thing I learned is replay mod can only upload in 30-minute chunks max. So I had to basically, I realized I had like 68 minutes of footage or so. So I had to create like two 30-minute chunks and an 8-minute chunk, right? And then I'll ultimately crop that down to an hour for our contest.
Okay.
But just trying to export those with the default settings at 4K on my desktop with my new graphics card and my pretty powerful CPU, it was slightly over 8 hours for every 30 minutes of 4K 60 footage on the exports. And yeah. So in comparison, like sometimes
that's going back to when we started. That's the sort of upload times we had when we started this whole endeavor.
Yeah, but that would be 8 hours. Like I would export overnight a 7-minute video at 360p. You know, and it would take 8 hours. So
I remember vividly.
Yeah. So at the same time, I realized, you know, my laptop has a bunch of special hardware on it for video production and coding. That's one of the reasons I got it. So I spent like 2 hours trying to get all the same mods and stuff running on my laptop, because I'm not good at that stuff. And I got it all going, and I was able to export the same 30 minutes of footage in 3.5, or actually closer to 3 hours. So instead of a 16-to-1 ratio, it's down to a 6-to-1 ratio.
Right.
That's still a lot of time to export a 30-minute replay mod file, but it's much more manageable. It's more than twice as fast.
I would not spend my time doing that, but I'm impressed that you did.
Well, I still don't have replay mod footage I'm entirely happy with because I realized on one of the passes I exported with the name tags on, and like
Oh no.
so
Oh
I've got
no.
to run that export again with the name tags off. Um, I'm also thinking I might do a pass where my player character is actually just transparent, so you can see the geyser better.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally it was me sitting at a lectern next to the guppy geyser trying to read while being distracted by the fish
Okay.
for an hour, and the problem is it takes up a lot of the frame having me in the foreground. So
I have kind of decided that I'm going to have kind of what I really wanted was like visual passes, just like do 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 do, and have some music behind it
mm-hmm.
to have like that really kind of lo-fi chill kind of theme going
Yeah,
on. So yeah, it's mine's going to be slightly different to you, but maybe not as artistic.
no, that's fair. I have some of the footage. You have my stream pulled up, right?
Yeah.
Let me here's some of the early attempt. This is like not the latest pass, but here's a replay mod file from or a clip of one of the early tests. And you can't. There's no audio on this because I recorded the audio on a separate track to do. But yeah, so it's just me
Mm-hmm.
sitting at the lectern. Occasionally, the fish push the minecart, and I have to scoot it forward again while they try to push me back again. It's very simple.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
also, I added slime blocks behind the cliff, so
Mm-hmm.
occasionally when they flop off the cliff, they flop back up. So just an hour of that.
Do you get the noise though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is this. So I recorded the audio on a separate track. So this test file. This is one of the test exports from Replay Mod.
Oh, right.
So and then what I'm gonna do is I need to splice all of the exports, the final versions of the exports together, in a Final Cut profile with the audio.
Oh dear.
And so yeah, this is just. But yeah, an hour of this. But I think having it without. I think I'm gonna rerun it with me as an invisible player in Replay Mod and just have the minecart moving back and forth. Because I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
much it really adds having me looking around, and like I block the entire geyser when I get pushed back here,
Yeah.
and so I don't know.
Okay, well, it's on the plan to do that today for
Mm-hmm.
me to record. Like, like I say, I think I might just do it in replay mod.
Well, you have to be logged in next to it for
Oh,
it
I
to
know,
operate.
I know, I understand how replay mod works, Joe.
Okay, well, but like for the viewers, sorry. Sometimes I say
Oh,
things to like, yeah,
to clarify for them,
yeah. We can't just load up replay mod and fly around Hermitcraft. It has
no,
to be
we
like
have to
where
be
your
next to
player
it.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'm kind of tempted to log in my camera account and do it.
I'm not sure that will cause the spawning to trigger.
Good point.
There's
Good
some
point.
weird stuff with spawning and camera accounts.
Yeah, the guppy geyser will be an interesting one, I think.
Yeah.
Haven't decided how I'm doing it yet, but we'll see. We'll
I'm
see.
sure you'll figure something out.
Oh yeah,
Like.
I don't want to. I don't want to have me in the frame because I don't think it adds to
Mm-hmm.
the effect much, personally. But yeah, I say as I just criticize everything Joe's done. Um,
Thank you for criticizing everything I've just done. It's very meaningful to me when you do that.
Sorry, Joe. I
It's
didn't mean
okay.
to. It's just it's. I'm kind of thinking about like the streams I've got on open now for
Yeah.
the music for my thing. which is Game Chops down below, by the way. There's a link there if you want to go and listen, guys. They have just like I'm wanting to put background music to it.
Yeah.
To just like, you know, have like a calm thing and just see how it does. And I've got a ridiculous title already started.
Title? Like the title for this for the episode or whatever?
For the video, yeah, the video
yeah.
that goes out. Yeah. So that should be fun. So you can expect to see an hour of Guppy Geyser with like video that I take from the YouTube audio library that's chill. Doc uses his cam account to load his world eater, so it should work.
Well, the other thing is that if you're logged in with only a spectator account,
you can get booted.
Yeah. Like, we kind of have a rule, like, if your spectator account's logged in and your main account isn't, it's assumed kind of to be a mistake, and your spectator account can get booted to save server resources. So,
yep.
Yeah. If you would probably need both accounts logged on anyway, not to get your spectator account kicked.
Yeah.
So,
and I hate logging in my spectator account anyway, so
yeah.
What I'd probably do is I'd probably just sit somewhere behind the wall. And then go from there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was kind of Game of Thrones.
What?
Oh, they're like a lot of them would sit beyond the wall.
Dang it, Joe.
You're welcome.
Did I use a type of journal when you were teaching? I would not have had time to do this kind of journal whilst I was. I had a similar one, but it wasn't nice. Let's put it like that.
Hey, also I got 2 tips rolling in. Thank you to Gracie for the 20. So here we go. It's time to rotate Joe. Wait, what am I rotating?
I'm rotating 1 degree per...
Oh no, I'm rotating the replay mod file.
Well done.
Yeah, hold on. Why is that not showing up now? Okay, so let me rotate the actual thing I'm supposed to be rotating. But
and sorry, answering a question.
Yeah.
Pushed. Water is not a rock in the same way that lava is not a rock. It might be melted rock, but it's not a rock.
For it to be a rock, does it have to be solid?
Pretty much.
So like gaseous rock inside of a sun wouldn't count.
Yeah, I mean,
molten cores don't count.
What defines a rock is a collection of minerals, and water isn't a collection of minerals.
What if it's mineral water? Also, thank you, Shifty Pumpkin, for tipping 30. Here we go. Here's another 30 degrees rotation. Jotation. How did I miss that? I feel like I've said that before and just forgot. That's the joy of streaming, is you're constantly rediscovering stuff you learned or came up with again.
Yeah. But also on that note, glass is a liquid. So...
yeah, that's why they call it a glass of water.
Thanks for being an inspiration for teachers. Oh, bad idea. Not
Cleo, you're an inspiration to teachers everywhere that they could someday quit their job to color.
That's if anything, that's the thing.
If every teacher
my job
followed
to color, did you say that?
If every teacher followed Cleo's path, there'd be no one left to teach children.
And you know what? That's the way that people seem to want it to go. There's a teaching crisis going on because they've made the job so dang inhospitable. So, you know,
it's like, for a job to be that inhospitable, you got to be willing to pay people more to take it, and they've not done that. I'll tell you.
And people are going, you know, like, if you wanted, people don't go into teaching for the money. No, but they need a job to live.
Yeah.
And if you make the job inhospitable, you can't, pay terrible wages for it.
Well, and especially in urban centers like Nashville or San Francisco, where housing prices are wild, it's like, how can somebody afford to work in the public sector and live here?
Well, I think I've established that I could not do that.
Yeah.
I could not afford my own house.
Well, yeah, that's true. I can't afford my own house either. So, yay. Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot to post the link. So, yeah, if anybody else would like to rotate the camera, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat.
And if you also want to support me doing whatever this is, talking to Joe mostly,
Yeah.
you know, like I also accept donations and subs and tips and, you know, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
But if you can't, then, you know, the fact that you're here is good too. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I always say that the folks who are tipping aren't just paying to make the show available to them. They're making the show available to everyone. So
that's true.
If you can't afford to support the arts or choose to support other arts than my own, either way, enjoy the show free, courtesy of the people who did choose to support or were able to.
Yes. Sometimes it's a choice, sometimes it's a capacity.
Well, because here's the thing, though, is, like, I understand how budgets work. If somebody's like, look, you know, I only have X amount of money to give to the arts every year, and I'm supporting the opera or whatever, that's cool. Sometimes I go to the opera. I like the fact that the opera exists, so when I want to go somewhere that is not my show, I have the option. You know, even if you're supporting the opera in another city, those artists might come perform here one day, or I might go somewhere that they're performing, you know? Like, I'm happy people putting their money into things they believe in, you know?
Yeah. Someone said our economic conditions... No, the wage disparity between the poor and the rich is higher than there is in the French Revolution.
Oh my gosh.
That's different.
Cleo. Okay, putting
yes,
the
Joe?
despair in wage disparity.
I hate that.
Isn't that good? It doesn't work written, but, like...
It doesn't work. I hate it.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work written, but it's great.
Dang it, Joe. Why does everything have to make sense?
I know. I'm just the best at what I do.
I know.
And I'm not sure exactly what I do, but I sure do a lot of it.
You do. You don't half do a lot. I want to do it this way. I think I'm going to do it this way.
So apparently because of randomization, there's 2,700 variants of tropical fish in the game.
Seriously?
Yeah, apparently there's 22 predefined patterns for the fish. And then there's, so 90% of the fish come from a pool of, or pool isn't a pun there. It's like, there's like, 22, like, hand-drawn fish, right? And then they wrote an algorithmic skin generator that applies different colored skins to the existing fish for the remaining 10%, according to the wiki.
That seems like a lot.
So, yeah. 10% of the time, their pattern size and colors are completely random, drawn from any of 2 shapes, 6 patterns, 15 base colors, and 15 pattern colors. The color black does not appear on any naturally spawned tropical fish, since the eyes are usually hard to see. This results in 2,700 naturally occurring combinations. Oh, apparently you can use the summon command to replace some of the colors to create more combinations. Oh, so that could be something that I could do, like, when I'm, what do you call it? Doing the petitions on my stream. Is if somebody asks for something and I don't want to give it to them, I could spawn in a rare tropical fish with a name that corresponds to what they asked for. Be like, go stuff this in your geyser.
You are an unjust god.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Like a lot.
Thank you. You know, I actually saw a really good quote about justice. Well, it's not kind of a quote. It's something in a story, but it resonated with me a lot. So the Expanse novel series concluded last year, but they put out a collection of short stories early this year
Right.
that I just got through. But there was one story where somebody thought that they were basically going to be thrown out an airlock for committing what they believed was a just crime. Like, they knew it was a crime, but they also were like, if I don't do this, we're all screwed type of thing.
Yeah.
And when they were not basically killed immediately, and were given an alternate punishment, the person says, wow, this is better than I deserve. And the person who was in charge of the settlement was like, well, that's why we call it mercy. If it was what you deserved, it would just be justice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I kind of like that. If it was what you deserved, we would just call it justice. Yeah.
That seems fair to me.
Yeah, it's just a fun way to think about it. Space Pirate Captain Rush says still finishing the last book. Oh, yeah, I really think they stuck the landing on the Expanse book series. It's 9 novels, and when you get to the end of 9 novels, if the last one sucks, you're gonna be like really mad.
It's like the Game of Thrones TV series.
I know, that's exactly. Yeah, I remember we were about 45 days into pandemic lockdown at the very beginning of the pandemic, and somebody on Twitter goes, you know, it says a lot about how much the end of Game of Thrones sucks that we've all been stuck indoors for 45 days, and no one on Twitter has suggested, why don't we rewatch Game of Thrones yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how much that ending sucked.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, with the Expanse books, it's like, oh, this is a really good ending, and they're coming out with a collection of short stories in a few months. Oh, awesome. Just like,
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, because it's like the stories of the main characters were all finished, but they're like, let's have a few short stories about some of these side characters we met along the way. And I'm like, okay, that seems like a fair thing to do after you conclude like a 9 novel series. It's like, you know, because you can't necessarily put a bow on everyone's story in the course of a novel, you know. So that was fun. Have I talked to you about the show Severance yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, because it's been 2 whole weeks. But okay, I don't know if you have the ability to watch shows on Apple TV Plus.
No.
Okay, well, if you ever get it, there is a really ludicrously well executed. Do you like bleak sci-fi drama, near future stuff? Like Black Mirror.
Say that again.
Near future.
I've not watched that. Dystopian stuff.
Yeah, kind of dystopian stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into dystopian.
So there's a show that the premise is very simple. A company develops a process where they can, I forget what they call it. They geospatially bifurcate your identity, so that when you're on premises at work, you don't have any memories of your life outside of work, and vice versa. And so that way, you're not distracted by work when you're at home. Great for work-life balance. But also, the version of you that stepped into the office on your first day is literally trapped there until you retire.
That sounds horrific.
Well, and that's kind of how the show, you know. So like that's kind of the bleak element of the show, right?
Yeah.
And
you get all of the work, but none of the.
But yeah, well, but the thing is, they try to find ways to like reward the employees so they don't go insane. But like they've also only had this process for like 5 or 6 years, so they're still kind of working on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that sounds horrific. Regardless,
it does. Most of the cast is comedians, though, and it's the showrunner and director is Ben Stiller, who he did Heat Vision and Jack, which has like Jack Black and Owen Wilson as an astronaut with a talking motorcycle.
Right.
So he's done like weird sci-fi-esque stuff before. Usually not this bleak, but the thing is, the show has these deadpan comedy moments where just like they have these ludicrous situations Because like the premise itself is played completely straight. Like they really do explore all the implications of this philosophically and like how psychologically damaging this would be. But then the characters,
And for the bits again, thank you, McLesley.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then the characters just keep ending up in these increasingly ludicrous situations. And occasionally like I'm just like all of a sudden cackling. Like most shows don't get me to laugh out loud. Because I'm like, usually I'm like, oh, that was a good joke, or oh, okay, that was well written. Oh, they pulled that off. But with this, it's just like, it's so bizarre and so deadpan the way they interject comedy into this incredibly bleak situation that I'm like almost falling out of my chair sometimes.
Does sound good.
But yeah, it's really really interesting.
It's really, really dystopian, is what you're trying to say.
It's super dystopian. But
Good. That's what we like to hear. We like a bit of dystopia in if we didn't have a dystopian art, we wouldn't know what it would be like because we live in such a utopia.
people are asking what was the name of the show again. It's called Severance. Because the workers who split their personality or memories or whatever are called severed employees.
Or as we like to call them, slaves.
Yeah. Well, and that's basically a big part of the show is, somebody comes in who is a little bit more rebellious by nature. Even though they don't really understand how everything works or what's going on. They're kind of... they're immediately dissatisfied with the situation and start trying to poke holes in it as aggressively and quickly and efficiently as possible. And that's one of the things I like about the show too, is all of the characters are relatively competent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't always know what they should be doing, but when they try to do something, they do it in a way that makes sense and is like, I'm not just looking at the screen going, come on, why would you do that?
Thank you, Diamond Miner Mom, for the biddies. A Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in September and the colour is gold. I shall try and bear that in mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can see that being a definite thing to watch. That should probably go. Severance, you say?
Yes,
I've actually got... Hang on, where's my...
You got your TV show list?
My... I'm trying to find it. Where did I put it? That's down here. TV show list. Pen.
Well, what else is on? Oh, you got The Dish on there. That's a good one. Are these only things I've recommended? Because I'm sure I recommended The Dish to you. What's the other two?
Hades Town and Ghost.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of TV. I've watched Ghosts, not my thing.
That's fair.
But The Dish, that's a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a film about the dish in Australia, the Parkes Radio Telescope, and its role in the Apollo 11 landing.
Cool.
And it's a comedy with Patrick Warburton, who's always great, as well as Sam Neill, who a lot of people really enjoy. He's probably... And then a bunch of like random Australian actors who are all like people you've never heard of, but you're like, oh, this guy's great. Why haven't I seen him in anything? Oh, he only acts in Australian things. Like
that'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like some people just don't leave the country. I get it.
I mean, some people don't get the chance.
Exactly.
So. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate because this is difficult. This bit.
A lot of people are saying Aussies represent. Dish is a great classic. Yeah.
I mean, I have a sort of a fondness for Australian stuff. Mm-hmm. They've had some good horror movies and stuff that I've really enjoyed. Like, was it Wolf Creek?
Really, I've never heard of it. Wolf Creek, you say?
Yeah, I can't remember. But I remember I think it's that. I think that's what it's called. But it's basically it's a horror movie. It's like a it's like an outback thing with murders and stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Well, the third season of The Leftovers and the third season of The Good Place both take place in Australia. So
I actually knew that. I've watched most of The Good Place. but I stopped when I got rid of Netflix.
Yeah, my daughter and I both just rewatched the whole series. It stands up or holds up.
Oh, I didn't stop because I thought it was bad. I stopped because of other practices.
Mm-hmm.
Did I watch Crawl? I've never watched Crawl. I don't know what that is. I do like a good horror movie. I also like several fairly bad ones. So.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen Sadiko versus Kayako yet?
No, you keep on mentioning it, and I keep on. It's on the list. It's just a case of.
It's not literally on the list though, because I just saw the list.
Fine.
Video.
What is it?
Sadiko versus Kayako.
There you go.
For those of you in the audience who haven't heard me explain this to Cleo 20 times, Sadako versus Kayako is about. There's two ghost series in Japan, Ringu and Juon, and one of them is about a ghost girl who will kill you if you watch a video that's cursed, and the other one is about a woman who will kill you if you go in her house. And this is a movie about, but both of the ghosts will kill you like after a few days or 7 days or something, but not immediately, right? And so the idea is, what if somebody watched the cursed video and went in the house in the same time period, and then the ghosts both wanted to take your soul? It's about Sadako and Kayako fighting over people who they both feel they have a claim to. And they initially made it as an April Fool's joke. They made a fake trailer because the people who made both films liked each other's work, and they were like, "Oh, let's do a fake trailer for this." And then the fans were like, "Oh my gosh, when is this coming out?" And they were like,
and then they went, "Ah."
And they were like, "Huh." And then they went to the studio. We're like, "Can we get some money to actually make this? Here's the reaction online." And the studio's like, "I mean, you both make the most successful horror franchises in Japan. You can basically have money to make whatever you want.
You can do what you like. It's fine."
Yeah, they're like, "And you're sure you want to make this though?" And it's like, so it's one of those things where it does have, it basically is kind of a it's kind of like a reboot of both franchises, because they both have to explain, or it's kind of like a remake or a retelling of the first movie in each series, because they need
versus Jason Japan style. Yeah, effectively. That sounds what it is, basically.
Yeah, so that they need to establish the premise. So even if you haven't seen both series, you could go in and figure it out. Although they do have stuff like, the characters are like, find a VCR with a tape in it, and they're like, "Oh, what is this?" Not like, "Oh, what's on this tape?" but like, "What does this machine do?" It's like,
I hate this already.
But yeah, so it's pretty good. There's some horror elements, some comedy elements. It's definitely still a horror movie. If you're scared of horror movies, you wouldn't like it. But it's a tongue-in-cheek mashup.
I like horror movies, but I am also scared of horror movies, so.
Yeah. Well, but you can yeah. I mean, some people, though, because, like, this is something I've run into with my Patreon, is I wanted to do some movie nights. And I'm like, every October, I want to watch a bunch of horror movies. And everybody's like, "Well, we don't want to watch a bunch of horror movies." And I'm like, I guess I'll just watch them by myself.
Yeah, like, I'm the same.
I mean, that's what I would do anyway. Like, in October, I would normally just watch a bunch of horror movies while I edit. And so it's like, I guess I'll just watch horror movies by myself. That's fine.
Yeah. Thank you, Hypothermic Addict, for the 8-month resub. And says, 8 months. I wonder if anyone's noticed that I'm missing. Could I contact my family, please? No exits. That includes phones. Yeah, no. I here's the thing. People who like Minecraft, not usually big on the horror thing, I've noticed.
But it's a horror game.
It's not.
I don't know. Like, I feel
like, the way you play it, I can understand why you would think so.
Yeah. Well, it was also a lot scarier when you couldn't turn night into day.
That's true.
Hey,
That's true.
thank you, Evan, for tipping 5. Let's go ahead and rotate that camera another 5 degrees here. Do. Who says, I'm currently eating almonds. Enjoy. Okay.
Never really liked almonds.
They're fine.
Yeah, just feel waxy to me. I like the flavor of almonds in like cakes and pastries and stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people in my chat are like, okay, I love horror and Minecraft. Steve is the last living person in a land populated primarily by zombie Steves. How is that not a horror game? Yeah, because when I first started playing the game, there were no villagers. You were the only person. Multiplayer barely worked. People are saying early game creepers are terrors. The warden is pretty dang horrifying.
I feel like the warden came in too late to make it into like a proper horror thing.
Well, but like the thing is, I feel like they're restoring the balance because they added a bunch of things that made it less of a horror game, and now
Are you saying nature is healing?
Nature is healing, Cleo. Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry, that absolutely killed me when you said that earlier.
Thank you.
On Monday, it was just sort of like nature is healing.
Well, that was the first thing I thought when I saw it. I was just like, oh, nature is healing.
Yeah. And that explains a lot about you, Joe. None of it good.
No. People are saying phantoms are also horrifying. Yeah, see?
But honestly, once you get your first bed, who really sees phantoms?
Grian. You're welcome. It's mostly B-dubs, but...
B-dubs doesn't see phantoms, no.
No, I'm sorry. But B-dubs steals Grian's opportunity to sleep every time. So Grian and B-dubs are always online at the same time.
Oh dear.
And so then, whenever B-dubs logs off, and it's the next night, Grian's never anywhere near a bed, and then a bunch of phantoms attack him.
Sorry,
if you came to meetings, you would know that this comes up like 8 times a month.
I do come to meetings.
Yeah, I think Grian hasn't been coming as much recently, though. He's been busy, but... Yeah, it's weird. I never see both of you at the same meeting.
I missed last week, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've actually missed quite a few recently because of things going on.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's fine.
It's fine, Cleo.
The last time B-dub saw a phantom was probably not the best time for him to see a phantom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put that in there. Oh dear.
Let's see.
Which pages are every month versus which are only once in the planner? Okay, so every month I get the quote page, title page, monthly overview, habit tracker, video planner, and then I also get each week gets a page. The ones at the front, like the 2022 page and like the future log, grid spacing sheet, things to check out, video ideas, merch ideas, content planner, which I'm excising because I'm doing it monthly now, editing tips. Those are the yearly ones.
What are editing tips, just out of curiosity? Like,
oh, it's just when I've seen something that I enjoy watching, if I notice something in somebody else's video.
Well, that's what but like, could you give me an example of one? Because I like one that's not from my videos, so I can learn something that somebody else did.
Oh wow. It's just little pieces of advice. Mm-hmm. Don't keep it in if it's not interesting, inciting, or incredible. That's one of the things. Always remember to put my talking head in the corner if I need to talk to the camera.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's a case of I don't fill them in very often, but you know, if something's If I'm enjoying something, then it's probably should go in. Talking head in the corner. Check. As you can see, I have, hang on, where is it? Here, pointing with thumb. Talking head in the corner. It works, even on streams. But it's like, I've noticed that that's a way to talk directly to the audience that I don't normally have. So like every so often in my videos, if I need to explain something that isn't explained in the footage that I've got, I will put in like a little tiny Cleo in the corner, and then talk. I think the last time I did it was when I went to see Beef. I didn't explain that I was going to see Beef, so when I got there, I just cut out the first bit of talking between me and Beef, and then I was just sort of like, and then I went to go and see Beef because I haven't seen him in like ever.
Oh,
so you know,
makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, I found that to be an incredibly interesting thing. Oh, and another one of my tips is don't forget to smash cut to the ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Or contradictory statements. It's just things that I look at sometimes and think I need to do more of that.
Oh yeah, that was something with my egg hunt. I was really annoyed that something happened. So I had a big timer on my egg hunt episode, right? As I was searching. So that way you could tell, like, if I jumped 30 minutes ahead, right? Like, oh, I've been looking for another 30 minutes, right?
I spent like an hour and a half looking for eggs.
I was 96 minutes, I think.
Ours took only an hour and a half. I've heard of people taking like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, guys, those eggs are difficult to find.
I thought it would be 10 to 20 minutes.
Me too.
I thought
Me too.
The reason that I didn't make a separate video of me hiding my eggs, even though I had like 23 minutes worth of footage in that, is I was like, well, I'm only going to have like 4 minutes of me looking for eggs. Not another 17. But like, there was just too much good stuff in the hunt. To cut. So I ended up with a 40-minute video.
Yeah, well, I haven't got my video out, but the first thing that I did was I ended up finding a creeper that exploded the back part of my snake head.
Oh no!
And then I saw Scar's little egg floating in front of me, and I was like, oh, whoops. So yeah, that explosion took out Scar's Easter egg. So well, I found that one.
Nice.
Didn't realize how many nooks and crannies everybody's base had until I've watched people hiding and finding. I didn't realise. I ended up having to, at the very end of it, Impulse had a really good hiding place. He was the last I found. But False and Grian had basically jumped down little holes at the back of my snake.
Yeah.
Like one by one holes that I didn't even realise was there. And then I ended up having to jump down these tiny little one by one holes. And they had put their eggs sort of like either above or below, and it was ridiculous. It was good though. I really enjoyed doing that. Would recommend.
Yeah, Grian had one of the best hiding places in my video too, and that video's been out for like a day and a half now, so I don't feel too bad about saying it. But I've got a bubble column inside my base, and he put it inside the bubble column.
Oh, that's sneaky.
Yeah,
that's sneaky.
And
Grian is good at that sort of thing though.
Yeah.
So
it was very, very well done.
Somebody may have been using enderpearls to get to ludicrous places for hiding.
Pearl definitely did.
I found pearls pretty quickly on mine. Hypno hid one underneath my tree. Like it was a 1-by-1 thing, and it was just sort of like my brain was like, they can't put it there. They did. I'm very impressed. I'm impressed with everybody who managed to hide their eggs, because I don't think my hiding places were very good in hindsight.
I feel like we'll do a lot better job next year now that we've seen it done once.
Yeah.
Because, like, I learned so much looking for the eggs about places I didn't realize you could hide them. I'm going to be way more creative next year. My
favourite place to hide the eggs was if you get a chest. Against the wall, you can put it against the wall behind the chest.
That was I had 3 of those. Those were the last 3. I found everything else in the first like 40 minutes, and then the last 50 minutes was me trying to learn that trick. I was just
my hiding places were cruel. Oh, Cam, since you're here, can you change the stream info from Minecraft?
Yeah, it says makers and crafting.
Yeah. But my hiding places were occasionally a bit cruel. But that's the point.
Yeah, it's supposed to be kind of a little
Yeah.
cruel.
But I arguably there are other people that were worse. Oh, Giant Cleo's made an appearance. I like that card.
Barely too bright for one setting.
What?
As the light's changing from the
Thank you,
window, I have to tweak the exposure settings on the camera.
Ah, I see.
Hypno got the baby mode egg hunt. Yeah.
What? The baby mode egg hunt.
Because Hypno's house had like nowhere good to hide eggs. He got the how like for like an 18-month-old, you just kind of put eggs on the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, see how many you can find. Because I actually opened my video. I don't know if Jev had the order of the people's bases or whatever randomized in the books, but the first one on my list was Grian's, and I was like, we don't want to be patronizing to Grian and just hide his egg out in the lawn here like a child, like a baby. We need to treat our professional peers and colleagues like at least 1st through 3rd graders, and maybe put it on a low branch of a tree or that sort of thing.
As far as I can tell, the most vicious person with hiding things was Grian.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he did not pull any punches.
No, he like I found most people's eggs because I was sort of like halfway. I was like the last person really to do it.
Yeah.
So I found like bunches of eggs. I found like only 2 of Grian's. I found all of Wells. All of Wells's eggs. I found most of everybody else's. But yeah, Grian was on another level. I think Grian's probably our potential winner at this point.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is the way that the winner is chosen is based on how many of the eggs you hid that got found. And so I was the first person to turn in my eggs, and I was like, yay, I'm winning. And then I was like, wait, no, I'm not, because it's based on how many people find my eggs. And I'm like, but wait, everybody else has a negative point, and I don't, because nobody else has turned in their basket yet. So I am winning.
You are technically winning. I was
technically winning for a very brief period that I am pretty sure I'm not winning anymore.
Oh, no. I'm almost 100% that I'm not winning. So I got vicious as time went on. So the people who were further down the list got harder eggs to find, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah, because you learn better places to hide things.
Yeah. So I'm lucky. I'm also lucky because my base was small. I think if my base had been bigger, it would have been more difficult for me to find things. So, yeah.
That definitely tracks.
Joe found many of Doc's eggs in his egg. I found most of Doc's eggs as well.
Yeah, I kept thinking the same way
him
Doc
and Wells.
did.
Yeah. Someone whose eggs I didn't find a lot of was Izuma's. Izuma didn't have a bunch of easily found eggs. So I think Izuma and Grian. Although I did find Izuma's egg in your base. Oh, I need to redo that.
Yeah, he had that in the pond there. That was really good.
Yeah, because that was the only place that I could think of to do it, and it was like, because your base is so small.
Yeah.
And everybody had stolen places already.
Well, you know that the entire thinking cave was an option. That's why I had a big glowing sign that says down to thinking cave.
Oh, I didn't realize that was not. Well,
and I had mentioned that in the egg hunt chat. Make sure that you, so like I think about maybe 5 or 6 of my eggs were down there.
Okay.
But there were 3 that were on the roof under the eaves, and I actually for the outro of my episode I had it. There was one point I found in replay mod where it was raining when the eggs hadn't been found yet, and so I have this great like anime outro style thing of just the 3 eggs hiding from the rain. And I was like, I really wanted to commission somebody to do like anime outro music for me for that episode, but I'm like, no, I need to get this episode out today. I'm not gonna commission last minute music.
I'm probably gonna put mine out on Friday because I'm at the point in my life where it's just sort of like the videos go out when they go out. I can't keep rushing them.
Well, my problem is that if I don't prioritize the video, I end up working on other stuff that isn't as important, and then I'm like annoyed that I didn't get the video out, and like it kind of seems like, oh, what do they call it, a executive prioritization thing.
Yeah.
Like I've realized if I prioritize the videos first, I'm usually so tired from working on the videos that I do a good job of not doing wasteful work with my remaining energy.
Yeah.
But if I
Yeah.
sometimes if I'm like, oh, I should really get into working on like this thing with the 4K footage for the Guppy Geyser, right? Like I feel like that's a good use of my time to some degree, but that's the sort of rabbit hole that I don't need to be going down when an episode hasn't come out in 10 days. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When the episode came out that day, okay, let me spend a few hours trying to figure out the best replay mod export settings for 4K video. You know, that sort of thing. So that's kind of like a treat that I get for getting the videos out on time, is that I can waste a little bit of time on stuff like that and not be annoyed at myself.
I understand. I get you, Joe.
So I was actually thinking of, I don't know if I want to do the raw calendar part of a bullet journal, but I was thinking that there are certain things that I should kind of maybe keep track of. Oh, I realized too that the quarterly planning board that I have in my base in the thinking cave is basically a bullet journal for like month-long goals.
Makes sense to me.
So, but then I was like thinking about things like I should keep track better of, like, you know, do you keep track, like, have you had water yet this morning or something like that?
Yes. I also have a little.
Your habit tracker. Yeah.
I have the habit tracker, which is have I had enough water today, which is a monthly view. But I also have on my fridge, which is just over there. I have little tiny magnets.
Yeah.
And I have 4 magnets, like 4 times. Oh, choo choo! Got a hype train. Thank you very much. I have 4 times 7 magnets, and every time I drink a pint of water, because I don't like water particularly, so I chug it. So I move it from one side of the fridge to the other, and I do the same with like a little pink one, which is like an exercise one, and it's a case of that's kept me more on track than this ever has.
Yeah.
Because I walk with miscolored magnets. The magnets are fine, Cam, for the water. It's just the way of keeping. I also have like a whole series of like 75 magnets to just sort of like, because like I give myself a treat if I keep myself like, you know, eating well, drinking well, exercising well. So if I have a really good day, I take a magnet, and if I get 75 days in a row, well, not in a row, 75 days of eating well and doing that, I get myself a present.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be some washi tape, or it could be, you know, something else. But it's just a nice little way to keep track. Okay, Raindrop has resubscribed for 11 months. Psychic Lagoon resubscribed for 2 months. Love your Wednesday streams. Thank you guys. Hypothermic Haddock cheered bits. McLesley cheered bits. Thank you for the hype train, everybody. And everybody throw some hands, because why not? Throw those hands.
I'm throwing my hands on my screen.
I know.
Yeah, because,
there we go.
You know, for example, I remember I was thinking this morning, oh, I wanted to talk to Cleo about tracking hydration in planners. So I'm going to pour myself a glass of water and take it to the stream. But you know where that glass of water is, Cleo?
Is it on the sink?
It's on the sink, because I couldn't carry it in the coffee, and I didn't go back for it.
How I do this is because, like I say, I am terrible for drinking water. I don't like it, so I won't do it. So I have to chug it by the sink. I wouldn't give the ability to keep focused on a goal for 75 days. I mean, it's not 75 consecutive days. So, for example, it's cumulative. It's a case of, it's like, for example, it's these 3 columns. So every time I've had good water, good food, and exercise, I move a magnet, you know? And then after 75 days, it works.
Yay.
You know, and it's actually really nice. It feels like I'm actually doing stuff. And for example, I have had rubbish food recently. What that was sort of Easter in based.
Well,
so
the thing is, though, like, I feel like if you don't celebrate holidays, especially when we're already in this like weird timeless pandemic fugue state, that's really bad. Like, sometimes my chat will yell at me for like, they're like, Joe, you're staying up too late for this stream, and I'm like, but my kid doesn't have school tomorrow, and if I don't like take advantage of the like occasions where I can do something different, like, you lose the ability to mark the passage of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cannon Rusher, for gifting a sub. Thank you, Mini Cheese Mouse, and Pushpop for the biddies.
Let's see. Suave Chibi Ranger says, "Is the red sash a cummerbund type thing?" Yeah. So the thing is that the this character's like red or maroon sorcerer robes are tied up around his waist. Like, the sleeves are really baggy, so it looks like a cummerbund, but it's kind of the equivalent of having your hoodie tied around your waist, just with thicker sleeves. I actually have everything for this costume, and I wore it for the... Oh, Cleo, we didn't actually talk about the D&D game yet.
Okay. Thank you for the bits, Pushpop. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so, I gotta say, it ended up going really well on the whole. The whole weekend earned over $8,000 for Child's Play, even though...
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. Saucefire did an amazing job running it as the Dungeon Master. Hey, C0 Tips 10, who says, get your hydration on, Joe. Well, we're going to rotate another 10 degrees. And I actually, I'm going to post a link to the VOD of the charity stream in case anybody is curious. Is it okay if I post that in your chat too?
Yeah, go for it.
Just because I've been drawing this cat for like 4 weeks, so some of the people here might feel invested in seeing like what the outfit looked like. But yeah, so one of the things that, or one of the best things that happened in the game, I'm not going to talk about the whole game or whatever because we have the VOD, but one of the best things that happened was one of the characters is like had the ability to transform or disguise themselves to look like one of the bad guys, and was like, okay, I want to do the thing where, you know, we pretend that the rest of you are captured, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, awesome. And so like I stand up and I take off the belt that was holding the costume together and like wrap it around my arms, and I've got around my wrists, right? So I've got my wrists like for the next 10 or 15 minutes of the stream, I'm just holding up my arms that are visibly like fake tied while I'm talking, like, whoa, you know, blah blah blah, you know, that sort of thing. And then when we have when we start combat and we reveal that, you know, we weren't actually tied up or whatever, you know, I whip the belt off or whatever and yell, it turns out the only bonds that contain us, or it turns out the only bonds that can truly contain us are those we place on ourselves. And then I kind of realize like that I put the belt on my own wrists, and I'm like, go, or not. But like the whole stream was kind of like that. But like that was But
that's amazing.
Yeah, so the fact that I came up with the costume and drew it and stuff, and then, but like, you know, like I said, I assembled it out of things that I knew I had in the apartment. Yeah, so it ended up working out really well.
It's a very Joe moment, that. Do I ever have trouble keeping up with my bullet journal? Not really, but you have to remember that this is my job now. I do this for a living, so every time somebody asks me this, it's just like, do you have trouble keeping up? No, but then I you know, I have like a Wednesday set aside every week to do this, so it's fine.
It forces us to be accountable, and that was why I was like, you know, if I started making a bullet journal to keep track of things like drinking enough water or making and consuming meals. Because, like, when my daughter is here, I have no problem making sure that meals happen at the time they're supposed to happen every day. But when she's gone, I'm just like,
I don't have to.
I mean, you can go 3 weeks without eating. Like,
as long as you got enough water, that's true.
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I can get my calories from peanuts and beef jerky. I don't need to make a meal.
I could eat. I don't have to eat.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't eat. It's just that, you know, I end up, like, grazing a lot rather than making actual meals. And just...
Oh, I know that feeling well.
Which is one of the reasons I don't keep, like, unhealthy snack food. Not that beef jerky and peanuts are super healthy, but, like, I'm not just sitting there eating ho-hos or, I don't know what the British equivalent is, Jaffa cakes.
I have, like, I'm gonna show you my snacks. Like, I every Friday I have, I put out 2 snacks for myself every week. This is what I've got left for my snacks. So I have 2 snacks. So like I will probably eat this today, and those will be for tomorrow's snacks.
Yeah.
So it's a way of keeping myself under, like, because if I have snacks, I will eat snacks. So I set out specific snacks. So, you know, like I mean, this is like an organic kind of chocolate and like peanut thing, and you know, that's a protein bar, and I gave myself some peanut butter cookies, but you know, they're like vegan, plant-based, gluten-free, you know, they're like all the buzzwords. So I try and keep myself sweet stuff that I will definitely eat, but is not ridiculous. You know, because otherwise, if I have like calorie dense snacks, I'll eat them. I just will.
Well, so. And it's one of those things, like, I know that if I go out and buy, like, watermelon, I'm not going to actually cut it into cubes and eat it as a snack. I'm not going to do that. At that point, I might as well make a meal, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Oh, no.
But
I'm right there with you.
It's crazy, though, because, you know what I will do is I'll buy a block of cheese, and I'll slice that up. But, like, I know for a fact I'm not gonna snack on melon. Like, that's...
Yeah.
And so...
I think one of those things is you've got to learn how to set yourself up for success. And if I've got all my snacks already laid out for the week, then I've got those snacks. And, you know, I've also got like some like low calorie crispy bars.
Yeah.
And so I'll eat those. You know, so it's sort of like, if I am really hungry, there's that second option that isn't me going and eating cheese straight from the fridge.
Yeah.
You know, it's not self-control, it's setting yourself up for success.
Yeah. And like, so. I think part of it is too, like,
I see you can.
You know, when I've got my kid around, I can make something and the whole thing will get eaten, right? But like, you know, there's a lot of foods where I'm like, oh, that's not really great as leftovers, you know?
Yeah.
Sarah says you can buy pre-cut up watermelon. The thing is, Sarah, I would be paying twice as much for someone else to cut it, and then I still wouldn't actually eat it. Like,
no.
I would look at it and go, maybe tomorrow. Like, I just...
Yeah. The thing is, you've got to pick, if you're gonna set yourself up with snacks, you've got to pick snacks that you enjoy and you are actually going to eat. Otherwise, there's literally no point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm really excited. And this is one of those things, too, like, I miss having a roommate. Because, like, I never really had this problem when I had roommates around, because I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna make, like, some nacho thing with chicken. You want some? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. But, like, you know, that's the sort of thing where, like, I would rather give away half my food to somebody I live with than make food for only myself. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
like, it's just easier to make meals at that scale.
I'm at the point where I'm just like, I make myself like something small every day for like my main meal, and then sometimes I just have like leftovers, and I have like one thing where I actually cook and one thing where I actually just go, screw it. Yeah. I can reheat this. It's fine. Yeah. But again, it's a case of, you know, you've got to have you got to have. I mean, I very rarely cooked when I was teaching. I reheated. There's no, there's no time for it. So you've got to make some choices, and I had to make a choice where being fed was more important than what I actually put in my mouth. But now I don't have to worry about that. I get to actually enjoy actual real food.
Yeah.
So So
yeah, one thing I've gotten good at is I got a cast iron skillet that has like ridges in it, and I'm using that to toast sandwiches. Because it's relatively easy. I make a sandwich and then I throw it on there. I set a timer so I don't walk away and burn the bread, and
Makes
then
sense.
I flip it over, and then it's like a nice warm sandwich, and that's something
and
that
then you have a sandwich.
and then I have a sandwich, and it's a warm meal, and it's not terrible.
Yeah, like I think meal planning is one of those things that everybody assumes is just like onerous, and they just don't want to think that far ahead.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's made such a difference to like the kinds of food I'd eat, because when you don't have time, if you don't have time for food, you eat rubbish. And I think that's a lot of people's problems, is not having time.
Well, I wanted to pitch you an idea about that.
Okay.
This is not one of my funny idea pitches. This is a actual legitimate thing I was thinking about the other day. I'm more likely to make dumb mistakes when I skip meals.
Yeah.
Right? So I was thinking, if I'm skipping a meal to try to get an episode out the door or whatever, maybe I should penalize myself with an extra hour before I upload it, just to double check and review the entire episode start to finish on my TV or something. So at that point, the hour I would have spent cooking and eating is now an hour I'm spending doing another round of footage review. And so I'm losing the hour either way, so I might as well eat.
I mean, if you think punishing yourself is gonna...
Well, I don't think it's punishing. I think it's quality assurance. I'm basically saying, if I'm going to be in a compromised state, I need an extra round of quality assurance to make sure I don't screw up the edit.
Yeah. Maybe. JT says been doing the meal kit delivery services just to help you get cooking. Yeah, those are really good if you're really struggling to actually, eat health. I mean, I've used those things before, and it's just a case of, oh, that's a meal that's really easy, and I could buy the ingredients for so much cheaper, and then just have it. But yeah, taking the mental load off. If you've got too much, if you've got too much going on in your brain, you get decision fatigue. And if you're wasting your time deciding what you want to eat every day, you're not making good I would not be making good decisions about content. I've exhausted my brain deciding on food. So when it comes to actually creating things, I have less energy to make the important decisions with.
Yeah.
So decision fatigue is a real thing, and you should take steps to minimize it. So the more you take out of your day. So for example, when I was at work, I had basically a work uniform, which is clothes that I would wear only to work, and I could mix and match, and I could just pull something out, and it didn't matter what I had.
Yeah.
I would have a top and a bottom, and the bottoms were always black, so I didn't have to decide. Like, the worst thing I had to decide was that top, and then I could go on about my day. And that helped me make decisions properly, and everyone sit up straight because my back hurts. Thank you for reminding me. So yeah.
Yeah, I had something similar. Like, I had a bunch of button-down shirts and whatever that, like, honestly, a lot of my... I don't know if this is one of those things that made me good or bad at I feel like it made
Yeah.
a lot of my coworkers seem to like me more than I would have expected, because no, because the thing is, I was constantly miserable. I didn't want to be there, but because I didn't want to be there so bad, I tried to be kind and generous with my time to all of the people I worked with, because I was like, man, these people probably hate being here just as much as me. Anything that we can do to all get through this together, right, is good.
All in this together.
But yeah, so I had a kind of like, almost like, I would almost consider it like a work costume, where it's like yeah, so it's like I would wear a button-down shirt with rolled-up sleeves, like, every day. And that was just kind of part of my, like, look at me, I'm kind of professional, but I've got my sleeves rolled up because I'm here to get things done. And it's just like... But it's like, it was like, I was wearing it, like, sarcastically, almost. But yeah, it's just like, so I would just pull any of those shirts off the rack, and they were all like, nice enough that they could go through the wash without falling apart, but not so nice they needed to be dry cleaned, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I got tops that were, one, didn't have buttons because I hate buttons.
Yeah.
Two, I could throw in the tumble dryer and they would have no creases in.
Yeah.
And and then sit comfortably on the hangers, because I hate clothes falling off hangers. And yeah, it made such a difference. Like, there are some people where I used to work, like some teachers, they treat school as a bit like a fashion show, where they have, like, they're always well put together, and I'm just thinking,
oh yeah, like Miss Frizzle, where she's got, like, no matter what she's teaching, she's got an outfit for it.
Yeah, she's trying to be, she's got the outfit for it. She's put time and effort into it. And I'm thinking, yeah, but that's time and effort that I'm going to have to pay for. That's 15 minutes of sleep I'm not getting in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Deciding what outfit I want to wear. It's like, it's not worth it for me. It was worth it for her, because it made her feel like her clothes were like her armor, and that's fine. But that's not me. My clothes are just the things that I wear to just deal with stuff.
Yeah.
You just go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, one of the worst things about clothes shopping is how seasonal different colors are.
Yeah.
So, like, I got really lucky that my divorce lined up with me needing to replace my wardrobe, and one of my favorite colors, teal. I like teal. Being like, that was like the color that season. So I was able to go and get a bunch of different clothes I liked in a color I liked all at once. But now I'm running into the problem that
hang on.
It's okay.
No. Continue on. I'm just going to grab my latest purchases.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I was gonna say, I'm at the point where a lot of my clothes are starting to wear through, because I bought them all at the same time, and it's been about 3 years now, I guess, maybe 2.5.
Yeah. Right.
And so it's like, I need to do a big batch of clothes shopping, but I'm worried that I'm going to get there and they're not going to have, like, the colors I want, which I could probably research that online in advance, but then
this looks grey in my camera, but this is what I've recently bought. This is just a jumper, but it's actually like a tealy green, and green is my favorite color. This is the color that sells out first. Gotcha. Of any women's clothes, like anything like green or teal will go first. So finding a jumper like this is like nigh on impossible. And like, I don't know what it is about the teal, but yeah. So is Cleo in the same room as Joe?
No, we're approximately 4,100 miles apart.
Yes. In distance, but not in spirit.
Yeah, somebody quizzed me on how far away London was. Joe, how far is New York and how far is London from Nashville each? And I was off by 400 miles or so on New York, because I thought it was about 1,200, and it was like 800. And then I thought, I guess London, to like 4,200, but I think it was 4,130. I think I was within 70. Which was pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'm quite impressed with that skill, actually. I suppose it's just memorization at that point,
Yeah, it's
isn't
just
it?
well, yeah. Like, how do maps work?
How do maps work? I don't know. I've never had a job that's required me using maps like constantly
I would
as I
imagine
travelled
that
around
geology you
London.
would need to like you would have been
That
looking at maps all the time to
that
like.
would that would be sarcasm, yes.
Okay.
Actually, I have a really good sense of direction in general. If
Uh huh.
I'm finding my own way there, if somebody tells me how somebody like shows me the way, it doesn't go in. But if I have to get there by myself,
Yeah.
then I can pretty much get back. So yeah, I used to work as a when I was working as a geotechnical engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The most technical of geoengineers.
I know. I had to go in my white van around London, and this was before the days of GPS.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to find the map at work, print off the map, photocopy it, put the route in pink highlighter, and then follow the map whilst I was driving.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculously dangerous now that I think back on it, but I could have abducted a black cab driver. You know what? I'm pretty sure I couldn't. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. But there was a time before GPS. There was indeed a time before GPS, and I worked during it.
Mm-hmm.
Although technically GPS existed, but it was too expensive.
Yeah, I was
To
gonna say. So my dad ran a trucking company for a while when I was a kid, and before
Mhm.
they had like the mainstream, like before like, um, what was the predecessor to
Tom Tom
Google Maps? No, but before
Tom Tom
Google Maps, there was another online thing that you could get maps through. It was yeah,
MapQuest
MapQuest. So like this was like 4 or 5 years before MapQuest was out. My dad,
in the UK. It was RAC Route Planner, which
yeah.
still exists.
So I think yeah. So my dad had a he would spend a few $100s every year on a CD-ROM where he could plot out routes and things for the trucks,
Mhm.
and then print them if he needed to. Um, and
Yeah,
that was like, whoa, you can print custom maps with driving directions. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, it's only $400 a year. Can you believe it? Like,
Can you guys imagine what it was like before? I mean, most of you can because most of you are like my age. But yeah, no, like the before times, before the internet, was a wild and lawless place.
yeah,
Okay, I've got at least the first week pretty much done. I feel better now.
yeah,
I was very concerned for a while that I wasn't going to get it done.
yeah. I'm just kind
Looking,
of having a chill drawing day because like I'm trying to conserve my just I don't know
well, the thing is,
energy.
because we missed last week,
Yeah,
I didn't have anything done.
yeah,
Like I was up to here. I didn't have my habit tracker or my video planner done. And even then my video planner I've cut short because I need to get this done because my birthday is the next week after and I actually do have stuff planned. So,
Woo.
yay.
Yay. Yeah. I've got a I feel like I've was spending a lot of my focus on getting ready for Easter weekend since my daughter had off from school for a couple days. So it's like trying to
Mhm.
find stuff to do around town and all that. And it's like now that that's passed, it's like, okay, now I need to start planning for like May, which is,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, soon. Sooner than,
Yeah, I've got to get through April yet before I can feel settled.
yeah.
Because that stuff I told you about earlier, that's all being decided and
Yeah.
found out at the end of April. So fingers
Hmm.
crossed. Um,
Good luck with that.
Thank you. I working on planning your daughter's birthday at the end of May. Found a shelter beside a playground and reserved it, hoping that playing, cake, and pizza will suffice. I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah, those
Um,
playground pavilions are a hit. Like we used one
mm,
of those for the Hermitcraft signing when no, I'm serious. So when Iskol and Stress and Scar
The
and
one that went really well.
yeah,
That
we had
one.
like 300 people. Yeah. Well, I mean, it actually did go well, except for the heat. Like, except for Falls having to leave because it was too hot.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the thing is though, we rented a pavilion right next to the playground, and so the
Hmm.
parents waited in line while the kids ran around for 2 hours. You know, so the kids weren't like, "Oh, I've been standing in line for 2 hours." They're like, "I got to play on the playground and talk to everybody else who everybody on this playground loves Hermitcraft just like I do." Like,
That's cute.
it worked really well, and it was like $30 to rent the pavilion. It was not an expensive. Now I did have to like go in person and wait in line in a government office, but like,
Yeah.
you know, I think it was worth it. You know, but like that really seems like the sort of thing you should be able to do online. But I feel like the problem is that they want to make sure that people aren't like um botting it, where it's like
Yeah.
you're renting the like they don't want some tech startup to pre-rent every pavilion in every park for a year and then sell them for more or something.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
They want to
Because
make sure
that's,
you're actually a resident and show your driver's license and that sort of thing.
yeah, you're a real person.
Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been back, but like we also haven't had any events. Oh boy. So
I wonder why.
I know, all right.
Where's the silver pen? Definitely had a silver pen. The clerks get lonely and like to see people.
Yeah. I think
I'm not gonna lie, if I was at a desk job, I probably wouldn't like to see people.
Yeah. I think one thing I need to do is I need to figure out a way to set up my laptop just outside my kitchen. Because my old kitchen, I had a place I could put my laptop and I would review footage while I was cooking all the time. And I wasn't worried about like the laptop getting splashed or food on it or anything.
Yeah.
But like my new kitchen is so tiny, there's nowhere to put it in there. And so I feel like I would do a better job of preparing meals while my daughter's away if I could like because I do kind of a rough pass of the footage where I'm like this is generally a segment that I'm going to use and I'll cut it down
Yeah.
later. But like let's take these 7 minutes and review them. Let's take these 5 minutes and review them, you know. And like
Yeah.
so I can just walk over and press like the M button to put a marker every time something happens that's interesting. You know, and not be like
Oh yeah, I know.
paying full
I know.
attention. Well, the viewers might not.
Yeah. Well, they should learn by now that we don't stop for anyone.
Yeah.
This
Joe.
truck doesn't stop for anyone. You know, just accept it, guys.
Yeah, yeah. We need a Joe stop patronizing Cleo to explain things to the viewers button.
Yeah.
Mahi Zero says, "What about a TV dinner folding table? That would be too low because I'd be standing." So, like my old kitchen had like a counter that like overlooked the living room or whatever, and I put the laptop on there. But like, so yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get like some sort of tall stand or something. I don't know.
Mm.
I've also got like a stool next to there that I'm using that's pretty tall for when people come over to play pinball. And I'm like, but there's no way to balance the laptop on the stool because it's like got a rounded soft cushion on the top.
Mhm.
But I'm like, maybe I could build something to go on top of that to turn it into a temporary table. I,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
a
I,
s-
I don't, I don't.
yeah, Swirl says, what about a TV dinner folding table on high heels? Yeah, I guess if the heels are high enough, that would work. Cheeky Fox says 2 TV dinner tables. Another JT says, sounds like you need a standing lectern. Honestly, having a lectern would be a really good prop for all sorts of videos, and I've been thinking about
would.
getting one anyway.
Rightmas resubscribed for 5 months. Thank you very, very much indeed.
Yeah. I should just...
I'm looking, for those people who are not sure what I'm doing, I'm actually looking at constellations.
Ooh.
So Capricorn, Taurus, which is me. I'm a Taurus. I don't believe in any of this stuff, but, you know, is what it is.
Oh, what is it? I feel like it was like Isaac Asimov that said, of course I don't believe in astrology. I'm a Sagittarius, and we're skeptical by nature.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical about that sort of stuff. But if there are people that believe it, and there are people that believe all sorts of things that I don't believe. So I'm not judging you. Well,
Yeah.
not
NJ
to your
says,
face anyway.
where does one buy a lectern? I think this is one of those things I should just call up one of my carpenter friends and
Yeah, that
get
sounds like a business expense.
Yeah, that sounds like a business expense and a custom one. Somebody else is like, but here's a $45 one made out of aluminum. And I'm like, that is technically a $45 one made out of aluminum. That actually might be helpful for other things like streaming though. I'm
Oh, no.
honestly having the $45 fold up aluminum one and a nice wooden one later. Maybe, oh my gosh, I'm going to end up owning so many Lecterns by the end of this, Cleo.
I have not suggested at all that you should buy a lectern, Joe.
This is just one of those things where it's like, Joe hates collecting things. That's why he refuses to spend money on Funko Pops or things. Meanwhile, hey, I got an 8th Lectern.
I have 7 lecterns today.
Yeah.
I nearly got the 8th, but I was outbid on eBay.
Yeah. The wood would be a lot better for stuff that's on camera, like as an on-camera prop. But like this folding aluminum one, Mahi Zero found. It looks like it's used by it's sold through like audio websites for DJs to use. Drew Baca says, I used that Asimov Sagittarius line a couple months ago. It didn't go over well, but the uncomfortable silence was great. KMS says, why buy 1 Lectern when you can buy 10? That's actually a good point. I bet through, universities probably buy Lecterns by the dozen, right? So there's probably some sort of university supply store. I could just get a dozen Lecterns super cheap.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing that you could totally do and wouldn't be obnoxious at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Why are we recommending Joe to spend his money, guys? You should know better. And by you, I mean you guys. You should know.
Suave Chibi Ranger says, churches have lecterns. Are there church supply stores? I mean, honestly, I realize I've been buying my candelabras from home supply stores when I probably should have been buying them from church supply stores. So,
can I just point out, and this is irrelevant, but I can't hear candelabras anymore without remembering... you had The Apprentice on American TV, and it came from the UK. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, well, I've never really watched it, and I don't know much about it, but okay.
Anyway, on the UK one, they had to go out and find a list of items for a show or something. And these self-confessed geniuses, one of their things was candelabras. And they says, what's a candelabra? I don't know what a candelabra is, and they kept on phoning these supply stores of, have you got a candelabra? I don't know what that is, mate. Oh, okay. Have you got a candelabra? No, I don't know what a candelabra is. Oh, and I'm just like, and these people are just in there telling these people how flipping smart they are, whilst calling it a candelabra. And I can't hear candelabra without going, candelabra!
I saw the greatest minds of my generation wasted phoning supply stores mispronouncing candelabra.
It's just steered into my brain. So, this happened between me and my partner with the word anecdote, which he pronounced anacedote. God. Oh, but yeah, no, that's there are some things that are seared into my nervous system, and that's one of them.
Well, here's the other thing too, though, Cleo, is that if you think about what we're doing here, we are small business owners, and we are in some ways entrepreneurs. And so unlike these folks who are phoning up supply shops saying, I need a candelabra. Candelabra. I can't mispronounce it properly. Like, maybe what I should be doing is I buy the pack of 12 Lecterns or 100 Candelabra, and then I say to my community, how would you like a signed Joe Hill's Lectern?
How would you like a signed Joe Hill's Candelabra?
Exactly. So I just, honestly, if I buy it in bulk and get like the distributor rate, right, I can mark it up to slightly below what they would pay at a normal store. So it's more like a group discount. Like, right, we're all going in together on a bunch of Lecterns and Candelabras.
Ice okay. I'd forgotten about Ice okay.
Ice okay.
Ice okay. This is great. Yes.
Duskadair says, I don't do merch, but I do want a Zombie Cleo Candelabra.
Well, Candelabra.
Candelabra. No, my apartment does not have enough space to store them. This is a joke.
Can I point out? This
is a joke.
The worst part about that thing was they had the internet on their phones.
Well, here's the thing: is there's a YouTuber who does a series called How to Pronounce, and then he mispronounces the word, and he gets millions of views on every episode, and so the thing is, I had this problem all the time at the university. Is I would say, you're mispronouncing that word, and then they go to they would say, they would type in how to pronounce, and then whatever the name of the country is or the word or whatever, and it would be somebody mispronouncing it on purpose on YouTube as a joke. And I'm like, look for that same person's how to pronounce Brett Favre, and like, then they would Google that, and it would be Britty Favre. Britty Favre. Britty Favre. And it's like, this is not how you pronounce Brett Favre, and you know that. So, yeah.
I understand you, Joe.
You know what really annoys me about that channel, Cleo?
Tell me.
I was going to give you a second to answer, because you could probably guess it.
Is it you been sucked in by it before?
No, it's that I didn't come up with the idea. I could be getting millions of views every day by typing, like, how to pronounce, and then somebody's name, and then saying that...
How to pronounce terpsichore.
Yeah. So I pronounce candelabra wrong 3 times, and I call it a day on YouTube, get 5 million views. Like, that's a good life. Like, that person made smart choices.
Yeah. They made SEO optimization choices.
Yeah.
That we're jealous that we don't have the capacity to do.
No, I do just want to put my head down and soft.
What about the SEO optimization?
Yeah, no, that's the thing, is people are like, if you SEO optimize your videos, they would do better. And I'm like, if I SEO optimize my videos, I would hate being alive. Like, just that sort of thing takes so much more energy than anything else I do. I'm like, I mean, maybe if I could afford, like, a maid and a chef, so I no longer had to cook or clean, I would have enough energy to optimize my videos for SEO. But,
I do not have the energy or the... Like, I don't have anything to do. No.
It sucks the joy out of my life.
And I don't have a lot of joy to begin with.
Yeah. But, like, well, and I think part of it, too, is that I had to SEO optimize a bunch of things at my old day job. And so I know how to do it, but it reminds me of being miserable.
My day job.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the fact that I used to be horrible for a living. Well, maybe not horrible, but like, you get the point.
Yeah.
Miserable for a living.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
I get you.
It's just not...
And I liked my job, relatively speaking.
I just don't want to do it.
I just don't want to have to do it.
Yeah. It's like, if I can make enough money to afford the things that I technically need, even if I can't afford everything I want, like, I would like to own my own home. But I can keep renting indefinitely with what I'm doing now. I can afford to pay my staff, which I'm expanding, and like, I'm promoting people and like things like that. Like, Like, I'm not, there's nothing in my business that I'm like, oh, if I just had like an extra 10 grand a year, I could revolutionize this business,
Yeah,
and so like,
I know.
why should I make myself that much more miserable for
And I don't
marginal
have to.
gains? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point where it's like, if I could just hang around with children
Yeah.
without having to teach them anything, my life would have been so much better. I
Yeah.
like children. I don't want them, but I like them.
There might be like something that you could volunteer at, like children's hospital or something. Maybe not during
I
COVID, but like,
don't think I could volunteer at a children's hospital.
okay.
I understand
Well,
because
and that's an
most of
extreme
those children
example.
are very unwell, and I don't think I could deal with. I
Okay.
had one child
How
that
about
passed away whilst I
Ugh,
was teaching.
that
I did
sucks.
not handle it well.
No, I would imagine not. Okay, a less extreme example, maybe the local science center has volunteer opportunities for people who have
I
a
don't
background in
think we
science.
have one of those.
Okay. Um,
The closest we've got is the local museum, and I genuinely do not like it particularly
okay. No, I'm just trying
there
to think.
because of reasons.
Okay. Well, I have a suggestion for another topic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes, please do that. Yes.
but I was gonna say before we jump to that, and the new topic is an obnoxious economics term that I found out about this weekend and I'm super excited about. Um, but I
Oh
need to go
no.
actually get that water that I talked about earlier
Yeah, you do.
because my
Go
voice is starting to
hydrate.
go. And before I take that break, though, it looks like we just got another 10 rolling in from Mathematical Jackal, putting us up to 75 degrees of rotation here, who says, cheers, Joe. Thanks for the stream while I beat my head against an engineering problem. Appreciate you, Mathematical Jackal. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. That's the VOD link to not the tips link. Sorry. Yeah, that was my D&D game, which you could also enjoy after the stream. Okay, so Cleo, I will be back once I get my drink.
Go for it. Go for it. Thank you very I'm okay.
You
I'm
okay?
okay. I'm okay. Yeah, just sneezy.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. I broke the plow.
Uh-oh.
Out there.
Do you need to take a hydration break?
I've got caffeine with me.
Okay.
I will drink. I will drink. I will go and grab a. I drink a glass of water when I get up. I drink one when I come in from exercise. I drink one when I'm about to have my big meal of the day, and I drink one before I go to bed, which is 4 pints of water, which is 2.2 liters of water a day.
Nice. You know, I was thinking about this, and I was like, you know, it's funny. On days I like go out for a hike, I always just feel better the whole day. But I realize part of that might be when I go hiking, I always pack like a liter of water for myself and if my daughter's there.
It does help. It does
And so it's like maybe I'm just actually drinking water on the days that I go hiking.
Maybe. Can I point out to every British person that if you want to go for a walk in the woods, it is bluebell season.
Ooh. Also,
So
thank you,
bluebell
rotation for tip and 5. Woo. Rotating.
Yeah. Bluebell season is now. So if you want to go and see like the woods covered in bluebells, go now. And it's great at the moment. So yeah, definitely go for a walk. And it's sunny.
Ooh.
It's also tick season.
So tuck your trousers into your socks.
Or maybe just don't walk through the bluebells. You got called young man by a delivery driver the other week. Oh, pushed. I'm not going to say anything, but you know what that means. Oh dear. I'm actually quite pleased with that layout. That layout I think is quite pretty and simple.
No, that does look really good.
Thank you. I'm pleased with that one. It's good. I think I've done quite well.
Yay.
Water hydration helps to lose weight. I hate water, so it's I hate water. But like I say, I have like we going back to earlier, I have to do it. So keeping little magnets on my fridge, like every day there's a set of 4 magnets. I have to get them over by the end of the day, and if I don't, I have to spend about 10 minutes at the end of my day drinking water, and nobody wants to do that.
No.
Don't walk through the bluebells, strictly tiptoe through the daisy season. It's wild leek season. I don't know what those look like, so don't get plants that you don't know what they are. So don't haddock, don't tell them to go get them wild leeks. They don't know what they're looking at.
You're gonna get the wrong plant. Gonna get hurt.
Don't get the wrong plant. Yeah. I had when I was in junior school many moons ago, one of our head teacher, who I hated because he didn't like me.
Oh no.
He basically accused me of like I was a timid kid. I was a really good kid, like super good, and my teachers were always confused why I would always get in trouble from the headmaster and no one else would. I don't know why, but he didn't like me. He accused me of swearing at a woman on the street, and I was just like, no. The woman also said no, that wasn't her, and then I still had to do lines for it. So it was like, why?
At that point, you might as well just start swearing at women on the street if you're going to get punished.
I might
either
as
way.
well. If I'm going to get punished for it, I might as well. And I told my teacher that I had lines, and she was like, "You've got lines?" I was like, "Yeah," and I don't know, but anyway. Regardless. But I was also he took us to a forest, and he picked a plant that he didn't know what it was, and he goes, "Look at how pretty it is," and like all this fluid leaked out over his hand.
Yeah.
And turns out that plant was called hogweed.
Oh, fantastic.
His hand bubbled up, like literally in bubbles. And it got so red and swollen, it was like twice the size of his hand. It was great. For me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I like the people who know what hogweed is go, oh God, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he spent a lot of time, like, It's like double the size of a regular hand. It was great. So if you want to see what happens to people who get hogweed on their hands,
Yeah, just go get a foam finger and slap that on there. That's about right.
Go Google it. It's great to
no,
see.
don't Google it. Ugh.
It's gross, but remember that this was a person that punished a really nice
But the
child.
other people that are photographed aren't necessarily terrible people to young Cleo.
Hogweed is real. Hogweed is absolutely real. Knowing the difference between cow parsley and hogweed is very important. They look basically the same.
Yeah.
It looks up what hogweed is. It doesn't end well. It doesn't. It doesn't. But it's well deserved if you're a dick. And he was. And like I say, I was like as you can imagine, I was a very good kid. I was a very anxious kid. I was a teacher pleaser. Oh, hogweed is in the same family as hemlock. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink that then.
No, it's almost as good as the science teacher I hated in high school. On the last day of school, he ended up breaking his arm.
So, you know, I one or two is a coincidence, but like at a certain point, you got to start asking like, how much is Cleo engineering this stuff?
I was a good kid until I didn't have a reason to be anymore.
Yeah, see, there it is.
To be fair, that teacher just played rugby a lot, so you know. Am I hexing people? I might be. I'm not intentionally hexing people. It's just a case of, you know. Can I also appreciate Shifty Pumpkin playing the gnome card repeatedly through this stream? I love that card.
Yeah, people are saying, so Cleo is cursing all those who cross her. Yep, that's what it seems.
And yet Joe is fine.
You know, I've barely done anything except get you to jump in a pit twice.
Yeah, really, that's your fault.
That's yeah. Sorry.
Are we sure Cleo isn't? I might be hexing people. I don't know. I mean, I've never.
Yeah, Cleo hates everyone. Global pandemic.
Yeah. It was a pit at the exact coordinates, though. Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
Because that's where I dug down. Okay, let's see.
Sure.
CC168 tips SEK50 and says, I love daytime streams. Let's see what that comes out to in US angular degrees. Or USD, US degrees. That's 5 US degrees of rotation we're going to be adding here. So thank you very much, CC168. Okay. So Cleo, the word that I learned in econ this weekend.
Yes.
Okay, so it actually applies to our SEO conversation.
Uh-huh.
So, if you had to guess the term, the economics term for the owner of a business who already has satisfactory income, sacrificing additional potential profits by choosing to do what they find acceptable or most acceptable rather than what is economically optimal for generating income. What do you think the economics word for that would be?
I mean, is it the term made by economists?
Yeah. And you know,
So
economists love making words. I'll give you a hint. It's a mashup of two of the words I just said.
It's a mashup. I think it should be something like satisfaction or something.
Well, satisfaction's already one word. Already a word.
Yeah, but it should be like it should have that one in it.
That is the first half. I don't know. Tell me. It's a combination of satisfaction and sacrificing. It's called satisficing. You already have a satisfactory level of income without doing something else that would inconvenience you, which would make you more money.
Yeah.
Optimizing SEO on our YouTube videos would technically make us more money, but like I said, it would just, like, if I spent an extra half hour on SEO every week, I would be so annoyed that I wouldn't want to make videos. I'd be like, what's the point of being my own boss if I have to spend time doing nonsense that people, like that, right?
I don't need to make more money specifically than I make right now, because thanks guys, I'll put this on to the people in chat currently. You're the reason why I don't have to go back into teaching full time and can do streams. Being able to make streaming, like, I'll be honest, streaming is the reason why I can, is why I was able to quit my job. Not so much the videos. I would like it for the videos to be worth as much as the streaming, but
NX Super says, does SEO optimization even do much nowadays? Well, on the broader internet, not as much as it used to, but like in terms of the YouTube algorithm, there's a bunch of there's a constantly evolving series of hacks that you could do to try to improve the click-through rate of your video.
I don't have time for that.
I don't, it makes me upset. I don't want to do it.
Crippling the British education. They're not crippled because I've left. They were already crippled.
Yeah.
The British education system is going out in a dumpster fire of its own making. I say its own making, which is pretty much the Tories, to be honest. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, so Daniel Wiggins says, my brother worked in a place ran by something like that, gave him a great start in owning his own restaurants. Well, so that's the thing, is I think that's actually something, as public figures to some degree, Cleo, we kind of owe it to our audience as a way of saying thank you for giving us the financial support they do give us. Like, the people who are tipping so that we can live comfortably and be creative and have fun, we should thank them by being creative and having fun in a way that benefits everyone, rather than saying, well, I could make an extra $150 a month if I just made myself miserable all the time, right?
Right.
And
let's put it like this. Okay. I could make probably an extra 1,000 a month by getting sponsors for my videos.
Oh yeah, like those VPN ads. Actually,
yeah, I could do.
Cleo, you say 1,000. Have you talked to people about how much we could make for those?
No.
It'd probably be closer to 4,500. But it's not worth it.
Okay, I'm selling out, guys. No. What I'm saying is, I could plug Raid Shadow Legends, as everybody does. I do not want to, because ethically I figure that would be wrong of me.
Well,
so
this is actually going to get into the second part of this topic. Okay. So Satisficing can be broken down into a bunch of different reasons for it.
Oh God.
Right? Okay.
Thank you, Shifty. Sorry, 1 second. Thank you, Shifty Pumpkin, for the 10 community gift subs that you've just given into the community. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah,
Thank
Shifty
you.
Pumpkin. Okay, so there's acting on principle, which is where you're saying, like, so for example, with some of these VPN companies, I don't trust the owners to not actually be logging the data. And I feel like it would be unethical of me to promote them when I can't vouch for their security stack, right? So that's an ethical decision. But like if a company that I had no ethical problems with said, "Hey Joe, could we give you some money to advertise in your videos?" And I was like, "Well, like, oh, I actually spend $1,000 a year on your products or whatever." Like it's a company that I know I've been giving my money to. Like, I would basically be getting a refund on the last decade of money I spent on them, rather than, you know what I? No, but like, I'm serious. That's the sort of company I would consider, right? So like, if the company that made my car offered me a replacement car, "Hey Joe, your car's from 2008. What if we gave you the latest model and you just mention it in your videos?" That would be tempting, right?
Yeah.
But if I chose not to do that, that would not be out of principle, because I don't think it's an ethical choice. I think it's just a artistic or creative choice. And so that's kind of more vision alignment. Like, does this fit with my creative vision? And like, this is the sort of thing too where I'm seriously considering doing this not necessarily in my YouTube videos, but on my streams or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
with like if a pinball distributor was like, we'll give you a $15,000 pinball machine if you stream pinball every Friday night. It's like, well, I want to stream pinball every Friday night, and
Yeah.
there's
I would
no
love to do it cheaper.
and there's no way. Yeah, the thing is, the pinball streams make me no money, really.
Yeah.
Like they might bring in 30 or 40 bucks, maybe on a good night 100, right? But compared
Mm-hmm.
to Minecraft stream, it's
Yeah.
so I'm already satisficing by playing pinball on Friday sometimes instead of playing Minecraft, because I'm doing what's not economically optimal, but what I have
Yeah.
most fun doing. Um, and so like I would seriously consider, um, you know, doing some sort of sponsored streams like that, because it was like what I was going to do anyway. It's just with equipment that I couldn't afford on my own. Same thing like with a carpentry stream. Like, let's say that I bought a house, and somebody's like, hey, we'll give you $10,000 worth of equipment to fill out your woodworking shop, and as long as you do one woodworking stream a week, right?
That sounds good.
That would be something I would seriously consider. Like, that's a lot different from me doing like, here's a book on tape company ad,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
But like, the question is what they're giving me something that I couldn't have acquired on my own that will let me make a show that I wanted to make anyway, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of how I'm scoping my vision for these sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that wouldn't necessarily be out so that would be fine to me. It might
Yeah.
still annoy some people that it's like, Joe's doing more woodworking streams, but it's like, well, I wanted to spend more time woodworking anyway. I'm just
I
choosing
wanted
to
to
stream
do
it.
it, so
You don't have to watch
do
the
it.
stream. But yeah, so these are the sorts of things I'm like starting to really
Yeah.
kind of hash through. But I realized, but yeah, like with the satisficing thing, like there's a lot of things that one of the reasons I got into researching this was
Mm-hmm.
because my Discord community was making a lot of requests where I was like, I feel like these are good ideas, but they're good ideas y'all should do, not ideas for me to do. They feel like they're out of scope for what I'm trying to make here. And like, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have a good definition for that scope, and that led to a lot of confusion and some hurt feelings. And but like, I feel like the satisficing term is really valuable because I can say what you're describing is optimal. You're describing something there is demand for, and I appreciate that. I'm not arguing with you about the value of your idea.
Yeah.
I'm simply saying this is not an idea that is going to enrich my life to execute,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it could enrich yours to execute it. So I actually created a new channel in my Discord called Spam Servers You Operate. So if somebody
Mm-hmm.
spins up a Discord to like run D&D games,
Yeah.
because I would love to run 3 D&D games a week for my Discord, but I don't have the energy or the time.
I don't have the energy
Like-
or the time,
like
or
that's
the
what
inclination for me.
Yeah. And that's the sort of thing though, like, so if somebody in the Discord wanted to like jump in there and do that, it's not like they have to go create a splinter group and like storm off. It's like, no, you can just create your own space that has all of the tools, and because like they might need different channel settings or different roles or
Yeah.
whatever, and like I can't spin up all of these different channels and roles all the time. It's too much administrative overhead, you know. So it's like,
Oh,
so
I know.
I'm trying to find ways to encourage people to like follow my example of avoiding doing things that would create like maintain your own sanity by building a business or building spaces that are manageable for you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, know that what's manageable for each person is different, and like accept that and lean into that, and like because I think a lot of people, maybe especially younger people, might have only been in online communities where people split off in like bad ways, and so they assume anytime somebody creates like an alternate space, that's a negative. And
No.
I'm trying to
Sometimes,
encourage
Yeah,
spin-offs, like encourage leadership and creativity.
look, guys, what we're saying is make your own thing. Maybe one day you don't have to do your day job either.
Well, that's also true. I mean, I'm not
And
going to
be
tell somebody if you
creative.
create a D&D Discord that you can quit your day job, but like maybe.
Well, you never
Some
know.
people can't.
If you come up with a system that's, you know, better than the current, you know, you might end up becoming the place that people go to arrange D&D games with randoms.
Mm-hmm.
Never know. There's already competition in that space, but, you know, go ahead. Might work.
Yeah. So we got a few nice notes in here. Alieth Harper says, I love your pinball streams. Because of them, I looked up actual table rules for the games on my computer and found I could actually play through the plot of them. Awesome. Daniel Wiggins says that the rich guy who owned the restaurant his brother ran had 6 other restaurants that were optimized, but this one was his dream restaurant. Right? So the other restaurants are all tightly run to meet market expectations, but when you run 6 successful restaurants, you can run the one restaurant that's your dream restaurant that you just get to see your vision out there in the world, right?
Yeah.
And like that's exactly it. It's like if I can afford to run my business the way I want to, then I'm going to do so. And honestly, if I can't, I would rather go back to doing the web development stuff, because like, honestly, my freelance clients want more work out of me than I can give them in terms of hours right now anyway. Like,
yeah,
if it's just like, if YouTube changed its algorithm something, right? And all of a sudden it's like, well, Joe, if you don't do VPN ads, you can't make money on YouTube. I'm like,
then I wouldn't.
I'll make the money somewhere else. I'm not, like, it's being creative and putting these things out there and running them the way I want to do them is like why I have this hobby, which is now a job, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, Joe. I'm at the point in my life where it's just sort of like, I was thinking about this the other day, actually. If this all fell apart tomorrow, would I go back to teaching? No. You know, I wouldn't go back to where I was.
Yeah.
I would do something else. And because having this experience has made me realize how bad that experience was for me, you know? So
that makes perfect sense. Well, and that's the thing too, is like, I wouldn't necessarily go back to my day job as a full-time developer for one company. I would just expand my freelance work and have like more of a formal consultancy. Whereas right now, like, it's the sort of thing where it's like, I would send an invoice in and the accountant at the company would be like, this invoice isn't in PDF form. And I'd be like, I don't really want to do this work anyway.
Yeah.
Can this just, fine. That's fine. I will stop working for you. And then like the one of the chief operating officers or whatever jumps into the convo, is like, no, he can send the invoices any way he wants. We don't care. Just pay this guy.
Just pay the guy to do the thing.
Yeah, because I'm looking for excuses to cut people loose. I don't want to do as much of this work as I'm doing. Yeah,
no, I'm right there with you. It's a case of people go, would you go back to teaching? No, they don't value me enough. And thank you, Hippo Kim, for the resub. I don't know if I said that. That's a year. Thank you very much.
Well, and that's one of the things is I feel more valued as a freelancer than I ever did as an employee, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to go back, I don't really want to go back into education. I want to go back into maybe childcare, you know, but yeah. Sorry, I've just found 3 flies just wandering around my house.
Oh, that's not ideal. Won't the cats hunt those?
Yeah. But the flies are difficult to catch regardless. So yeah. I'll find the fly spray at some point, I'm sure. Never want to stop being a creative. No, I don't. But there are different ways to be creative. Like if I had to stop this.
Yeah.
I have other things that I would like to do. I would like to do true crime stuff. I would like to do history stuff. You know, I don't think that this is necessarily forever. I would like to diversify into like doing things, but it's finding a niche and a way of doing things. So
yeah, you know, And that's kind of part of the fun though of being your own kind of creative lead is you can find ways to incorporate kind of pilots for things like that into Minecraft. Like you could do a true crime series about like famous Hermitcraft thefts.
I'm not sure I'm able to do that without certain things coming back up to light.
I wish I knew what you were talking about. If only there was a podcast that I could find out.
Has to do with a certain horse. You've forgotten.
Did I steal your horse by accident?
No, I.
Did you steal my horse by accident?
No.
Did you steal my horse
do you not
on
remember
purpose?
the name? Do you remember the name tag saga?
I mean, honestly, long-term memory formation is not my strong suit. That's why I just put everything in a video.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, people in my chat are saying they seem to know it's the name tag thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Saucefire. I was just saying that people should check out the VOD of us playing D&D together.
Yes, just saying that.
Well, I mean, my time sense isn't great. I'm sure there's a word for that.
Yeah, I've noticed that. To be fair, he did say that.
I did say that, and I had the VOD link ready, so that doesn't make it look like I'm inept.
No, but it was about an hour and a half ago.
No, I think I mentioned it right when I got back, too. Or maybe I didn't. Okay, so this is why I can't remember things that would be in a true crime podcast. Like, honestly, I could be listening to your true crime podcast, and then at the end, it turns out it was me, and I'd be shocked. I was like, oh, I did do that. Let me go pull up the video.
That was a thing I did.
Like, oh boy.
It's very much you, Joe. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the thing, is like a lot of the crazy ideas I have, I'm like, I would love to do this. Like, I would love to start a scam for-profit university. I'm like, if I just add in Minecraft to it, it goes from something where I'm like, okay, so I gotta get 300 grand together, I gotta get a lease on some property, I gotta get some fake teachers, they should at least have real PhDs, even if they're, like, disgraced. It's like, that's, like, a lot of work to set up a fake university. But, like, if I'm like, I'll just do it in Minecraft, it's like, okay, let's name tag some zombies, and then put up a sign that says 2,500 diamonds a year.
I would totally listen to a Cleo and Joe podcast. If I close my eyes, that's already kind of what this is.
Well, that's kind of what this is. This is another example of Satisficing. Is people are like, oh yeah, I would love it if you made a podcast. And I'm like, the thing is, the actual work that goes into making a real podcast, the audio quality and, like, a bunch of things have to be way better. Like, which you wouldn't notice on a stream because you're used to streams not sounding great. But for a downloaded podcast, you'd be like, why does Joe and Cleo's podcast sound worse than every other podcast out there? And it's because we're not willing to put in the effort to do it right. This is basically the not doing it right version.
Yeah, I think we're doing it fairly well, but, you know, if we had a podcast, we'd have to figure out topics and, you know, and put in all the work. Today, we just turn up.
Yeah. Although, in fairness, I did have, like, 4 topics prepared today.
Yeah. Well, that's when Joe doesn't see me for a week or two.
Yeah. Or no, it's 14 days since our last art stream, yeah.
It is. So,
but yeah,
this is absolutely a podcast for me. Yeah, I don't expect people to pay attention necessarily to what I'm doing. And I know most people don't. So, you know, most people just have this on in the back. I've been told by loads of people, yeah, Wednesdays, I just have you and Joe on in the background and you talk about interesting stuff and I listen. And it's just sort of like, that's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Like, we're just having fun, palling around. But, like, for a real podcast, we would have to, like, right now, I'm not worried about the distance I am from the mic, right? Like, sometimes I'm louder and sometimes I'm quieter, depending on where I'm leaning. Like, for a real podcast, you need to keep your face the same distance from the mic. You need to have all this discipline, and it's not goofing off anymore.
A Hermitcraft version of the Mindcrack podcast would be cool one of these days. Well, arguably, we do one about Hermitcraft, not Mindcrack, though. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, no, honestly, we should just talk about... We should do the Hermitcraft Mindcrack podcast, and it's just us talking about Mindcrack, but none of us have seen it in, like, 10 years. It's like, do you remember Co-Star? Oh, I remember
Yeah,
Co-Star.
like vaguely I remember Co-Star. Isn't
Oh,
he still around somewhere?
yeah, he streams every day actually, and so does
And we could
Avinia,
and we could
and
have
so does
we could
Good.
have
We could just
special guest stars, and one of them would be Doc, and the other would be V-Dubs.
you know who would actually
Oh, and Etho. We could have Etho on.
oh, you know the thing is, like Etho just wants to hang out. Like,
Yeah.
so if we were like,
Yeah.
hey, Etho, you want to hang out? He'd probably be like, sure. But if we're like, Etho, could you set up your mic for this podcast? He'd be like, no.
No, I don't want to work.
Yeah, because that's the thing is it's like, you also have to record at like a higher audio quality than we use for our videos. And like, there's a bunch of like stuff like people aren't going to want to do it.
No, people aren't going to want to do it, and I'm not that person. I would love to have a top, like I would love for the Hermits just to have like an informal kind of, we're going to record this, but we're just going to sit here and hang out, and we're going to talk about this topic, and wherever it takes us is wherever it takes us.
Well, and to some
Yeah,
degree,
Minecraft
we could
as well.
pilot this with HHH.
I guess.
Because if you remember when Ren ran HHH, he basically ran it like a podcast like that, where he had a bunch of funny questions and topics that he was going to introduce throughout the stream, right? And so, like, if we wanted to, we could have a more structured HHH that was basically this.
I don't think it should be video recorded. I think it would just be like us hanging out, having a chat on Discord.
No. I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, though, if we wanted to have some of the benefits of this without all the work.
Yeah.
There are ways that we can incorporate the stuff. Mantigag points out the Mario Kart stream was almost like that. We just talked about random stuff while ZF destroyed us all. That's true. Cleo, ZF is hilariously competent at Mario Kart. Like, upsettingly good.
I think you could have just ended that with ZF is hilariously competent.
You could just end it with ZF is hilarious.
Hilarious, yeah. Anyway, I think I'm done.
You done for
now.
the day?
I'm done for the day.
No, that's fair. I've just been sketching tropical fish just to get myself back in a creative headspace. I need to go to, like, getting to the craft store is one of those things where it's like, I keep needing one really important thing, and then I have like a few things that would be nice to have, and then I end up getting the important thing at a different store. And so I'm like, well, I don't really need to go to the craft store now. But like, I still want to buy fancier pencils. I want to get certain
buy pretty things. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, recently, because tax season is over, and I've now got all the money ready for taxes. I don't have to. Like, I've now got a portion of money that I was saving for taxes, which is now mine.
Yeah, no, I was kind of in the same boat where it's like I was only under on my quarterly estimates by about 10%. And I had set aside like 20% of what I had estimated. So that meant like I could take the extra and spend it on a graphics card. Or not, I mean, it wasn't enough to cover the whole graphics card, but put it toward it, you know. It's like, okay, now I can take some risks. Because if I bought the graphics card and then ended up owing money, I would be in big trouble. But one thing I realized is, here's a fun one, American business owners. Quarterly taxes in America, they're April 14th, June 14th, and then it's 3 months to September 14th or 15th. It's whatever. Core concept, it's the middle of the month, usually 3 months apart, but for some reason we get an extra month at the beginning of the year, but then a short quarter. So technically, my quarterly taxes that are due in June, I really only get 2 months to save for them because I already paid the April one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh man, I've got all this money. And then I'm like, oh, nope. Because I was like, I've saved more than a third of what I owe on my quarterly taxes already. And I was like, but I'm almost halfway through the period. Dang it. Grumble, grumble.
Okay. Anyway, it is time to go. Thanks for hanging out, Joe.
It was fun,
nice.
Cleo.
Bye,
everybody in Cleo's chat.
Bye, everyone in Joe's chat.
Okay, my chat. Hello. Let me do a final check to make sure I'm not missing any tips via PayPal. Looks like we're good. Thank you for rotating the camera. Let's see who we can raid. Cleo, obviously, we are not going to raid because she's about to end her stream. So we need to... Oh, looks like Music Man is playing some Minecraft. He is always a delight. He has been a musical guest on my show before, and we've played mini golf before. Very, very chill and talented creator. So why don't you go ahead over to twitch.tv/musicman1017. Our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hills raid here. And until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do 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 do. Oh yeah, I gotta click stop stream.